Hello everyone, and welcome to the third lesson of the course Introduction to Cultural Storytelling. And today we will talk about how to make a record of audio and then how to make post-production, how to remove some noise, add some music and so on. But not only, we will raise many common questions which usually raised when you talk about audio guides, and Pavel absolutely right. Many people are afraid of, scared of the whole idea how I will voice over some stories, and my goal is to make you relaxed and make you believe that you can do it much better than you can expect. But before we start some technical details, it is important to raise several important questions. First of all, it is comparing voiceover by professional actor and by yourself. Yourself meaning you, your colleague, probably somebody else, but without any professional actor, but inside your team. And the goal and idea why to do it, it is not only to, save money or time or whatever. There could be much more reasons to do that. And I want to show several examples. First of all, imagine, like in a museum, you want to ask the curator to tell excursion about some exhibition, like it was done by S. Malakuta from London Museum of Richmond. Just listen.
Welcome to the Museum of Richmond's April Curator Tour. My name is Esme Lakota and I'm the museum's curator.
Yeah, and you see that it is probably not so professional voice, but when you are in museum, for you as a visitor, it's much more interesting and important if story will be told by the professional, by the curator of this exhibition who made it, who chose all these pieces of art and with all this professional knowledge. For you, it's much more personal and informative than just a professional voice. Or another example, it could be a walk with the director of anything, museum, botanic garden, like this specific example of botanic garden in Moscow.
Добрый день, дорогой гость старейшего ботанического сада России. Меня зовут Алексей Ратыюм, я директор этого замечательного места.
It was in Russian, but it was okay. I'm a director of this botanic garden, Alexei Ritayum, and I will guide you through this part. And you definitely heard in the beginning some birds, flies, noises, wind, because it's kind of atmosphere, because you are walking in botanic garden, and we will talk how to add these sound effects at the end of our today's lesson. Or it could be stories told by locals, like it was done by one American community in Baltimore City. This community collect stories of locals in different blocks and streets of the city. There are many of them in the whole city, and this one of the tour which tells stories of people living in some specific street. And this story of one guy who is a musician and lived on this street.
From 200 West Saratoga Street.
It's out of the blocks.
A simple concept.
From the minds of Aaron Hinken and Wendell Patrick.
1 hour of the radio, 1 city block, everybody's story.
Everybody's story.
Everybody's story. My name is Rodney Downs, but I go by Ronnie, and the address here is 218 West Saratoga Street. Well, I'm the building maintenance guy. I'm like the manager of the building. And I've been here since 92.
Yeah, just another example when you can't use professional voiceover because the whole idea of your project is voices and stories of specific people. Or it could be story told by the owner or manager of some attraction, like in this specific case in Kenya, where the couple of wife and husband built the castle and make a hotel there. And they tell story of their life because they spent whole life to build this castle.
I am Eunice, and in the next 25 minutes, I will guide you through this walking tour of Tafaria. I have known George since the day I married him, and together we have weaved this castle which is named after him.
again, for you as a listener, much more important to listen this personal story from the person who builds the object. Or another interesting project when Italian kids told story for their foreign friends, kids from another countries who visit Italy, and that's how they did it.
We are the children of a primary school in Castelvetrano, Sicily, and we want to invite you among the temples of the archaeological park of Selinunte and of the caves of Cusa, and present you to the magical world of the Greek myths of Selinunte.
Yeah, again, the idea is built around the voices of local kids who want to share their local culture to foreign kids. Or it could be any other example. There are many of them, like it could be story of the painter, the artist, or it could be celebrities, which we discussed last time, or it could be the owner of the gallery, or it could be again kids. Many examples where the person who voice over the story is much more important than the voice itself. And for all this project, you have to choose somebody specific person, and in this case there is no question to hire voiceover actor or choose this person, because person will provide more emotions, more passion, more engagement than just a talking head, even professional talking head. Next step, when you decide about your concept and decide about who will voice over your story, professional actor or somebody who may provide much more emotions and information here, will be the question how to do it. In a studio, or probably with just usual voice recorder or even smartphone, because modern smartphone really make voice recording quite well. And here probably I need to raise very important and simple things about the studio, because I guess some of you even can't imagine what does it mean studio, what happens there. So what is a typical studio is? It is usually two rooms, one room with this very scary equipment with huge amount of buttons, and another soundproofed, sound isolated room with a microphone where you as a voiceover actor or musicians record their voice or music. Then it's not enough. You need a sound engineer who sit with all this equipment and who make a record and then post-production. And of course you need voiceover actor. So if you choose this way, studio way, you have to understand what part it is consist of. But instead, you can do it just in your home or in your office with a normal voice recorder or even smartphone. So you just sit in your normal room, take smartphone or voice recorder, read the text from computer, and then make a post-production again on your normal computer with free software which is available, wide range of solutions. We will talk about them a little bit later today. But of course, if you choose home solution, and by the way, you choose it again not only because you want to save money or time or whatever, but in many cases, I showed it before with celebrities, local people and so on, you just physically can't invite all of them to the studio. You just come to them where they live, where they work with this voice recorder and make a record in their room, flat, cafe, restaurant. Last time I showed you several examples with celebrity. It is impossible to invite many celebrities to some studio to some specific time. No, in fact, we run for them for many days and just wait a moment. Okay, they have 5 minutes to tell a story, and doesn't matter where it happened, in cafe, on the street, wherever. So sometimes you just have no option to make a record in professional studio, so you can do it in that surrounding which you can get. But in this case, you have to take in mind some main issues of recording at home. What is the main problems? What is your main enemy on this way? First of all, it is echo. you can't remove echo and post-production. So that's why when you choose any place to make a record, please make sure that there is no echo. So it should be small room with probably many furniture. Your windows should be closed because sound reflects from the glass and many other things. It is not so difficult to do it, but make sure and check that there is no echo in this room. Next, it is external noise. Usually in normal life we do not pay attention to small sound from refrigerator or probably even lamp make some noise, or on the tram on the street, or some people who walk next room and talking. So all these things around you have to think about them: TV, refrigerator, lamps, many other things, and it's about equipment around you. Again, like TV or refrigerator, they usually make some noise, and you have to switch them off before the record. And very common mistake in our modern world is notification and calls. You can make a preparation, close all windows, put pillows around you, start a record, and then your smartphone start calling or some notification came. Please switch on airplane mode. And it's interesting, this is funny picture I found from one journalist who just claimed, and I heard this story from many journalists I know, that majority of stories which you hear on radio, not on the air but made in advance, they usually happen not in the studio but in a flat, on a hotel, wherever, because journalists travel a lot, and where they need to make a record to the air, they just sit near, I don't know, on the bed, put cover on the hall, put pillows everywhere, and make this record. And this is just an example. Okay, it's some comments in Russian. I'm a journalist, and when I need to make a record, so what I do, switch off refrigerator, TVs, everyone. If I'm a hotel, ask neighborhood keep silence for some minutes, put some pillows around microphone, and make a record. And best of all, if you put some cover on your head to isolate everything from surround noises. It's funny that we met with such home records much more often in our life than we expect. All these professionally sounded records on radio usually made in such surrounding. Next, a really important topic is how not to afraid of microphone, because usually when you ask someone, please read this text to microphone, it really makes troubles, because we really afraid this thing, and it is strange, because we all as a people know how to learn from early years, and we do a lot of presentation, we make a lot of calls every day, we talk to the people, but when we faced of microphone, I don't know what happened, we all become as freezed. So there are several tools and techniques how to stop be afraid of microphone. First of all, relax and believe in yourself. You definitely can talk. You do it every day, as I said. Second interesting technique is just for the beginning, try to imitate your favorites. Your favorite blogger, I don't know, radio star, TV star. Just find a person whom you like how he or she talking. Listen him, try to imitate his voice. It will help you to feel your voice. It will help you to manage your emotions by voice. Just to imitate someone for the beginning, it will really help. And after several attempts, you will understand, I can work with my voice. I can change emotions. I can change loudness. I can change many things. And to make it easy, just try to imitate some person whom you like how they talk. Now, next thing, just remember, almost everything can be fixed in the future. So what things can't be fixed is echo and some strong noise, but all your mistakes, all your errors when you talk on wrong pronunciation, you just can repeat it in a normal way, and then on post-production you can fix all these bugs easily, really extremely easily, in several seconds. So if you feel that you make a mistake when you voice over, just repeat it from the beginning of the sentence and go further. Don't restart record, whatever, no. Make so many doubles how you need, repeat it 5 times, 10 times, whatever. Well, when you feel, okay, now looks like I did it right, go further, then on post-production you will just remove all mistakes. And of course it is practice. Nothing better than a practice, and usually after 1, 2, 3 hours of your records, you will feel significant improvement from your side. It's really not a rocket science to start to talk as a voiceover actor. Of course, not so professional, but much, much better than in the beginning. Then probably important questions which should be highlighted is studio pricing. Because again, when you start to think, okay, I need to make a record, how much it will cost, what components, it is difficult. We usually never do it. And that's why I decided to highlight several things. First of all, what you need to know that you need studio and sound engineer. Usually you rent them together. Studio, these 2 rooms with equipment and with microphone, and sound engineer who make records and then who can, or if you want, edit your voice. Usually it is hourly rate. And it is not so expensive as you can expect. It is really different in different countries. For example, in Russia, the normal studio price is about 20-30 euro per hour. So for 30 euro per hour, you will rent out studio with sound engineer together for now 1 hour. And then if you record your voice and then ask your sound engineer to make some improvements, it will be the same hourly rate for post-production. And here you need to know that usually if final result is 1 hour of audio, then for recording you will need 2 hours, little bit less, depends on experience of the voice actor, because it will be some mistakes, some pauses, some small relax to drink water and so on. So just multiply on 2 and you will understand how much time you need to rent out studio. And then for post-production, again, if it is 2 hours of audio of original without correction, then you will need another 3-4 hours for correction. Again, it is really depends on professionalism of voiceover actor. If it is many mistakes, it will take longer. If it is almost no mistakes, it will take less time. So you can start count these numbers from 30 years per hour. Then for 1 hour of final record I will need 2 hours in studio, and then another 3 hours on post-production, so 5 hours, 150-200 euro for end product. Plus, of course, voice-over actor. It's a separate price, and if it is you or your director or curator or whoever, it depends how we will decide with him. Probably it will be for free. But if you hire some voice-over actor, then you have to take in mind that, first of all, the price are extremely different. So there is no standard rate. Somebody could be very cheap. Somebody could take, 1,000 for 15 minutes. It depends on how famous this voice is. And another important topic you have to pay attention, that there are 2 major criteria to tell you a price. Because in this sound production world, there are 2 different types of product. One product, quite typical, it's some advertisement, some records for shops or for telephone after answering, and many other things. It's usually short messages, like 30 seconds, 1 minute, 15 seconds. And second approach is voice-overing of audiobooks, when you talk about the hours of audio. And every voice-over actor will try push you for the beginning to this approach of advertisement, 1 minute approach. He will tell you, okay, 1 minute of audio will cost you 50 euro, so you need 1 hour, multiplied it on 60. Yeah, I will take you 3,000 euro. They'll say, no. we talk not about advertisement. We are talking about audiobooks. What is your rate for audiobooks? And for audiobooks, it is usually starts on based on the pages or hours, and it is much less expensive. So take it in mind, because voiceover actors, they are also a little bit tricky guys and will try to take much more money for narration. Next thing, it is sound design. Sound design is when you want to add some music, sound effects to your audio, and it is usually either time-based, if it is simple things like you take some sound from open library of sounds, or it could be item-based if you ask, for example, to create new music specifically for your audio guide. It is really very various of prices, so there is no standard price at all. You have to discuss it each time for specific guide. Next thing, let's talk how to edit audio. Because if you do it yourself, or even if you voice over your actor in studio, but then decided to edit it yourself, not in a studio, you need to know several main steps how to improve soundtrack. So when you voice over, you have this original soundtrack, and there are just 4 or 5 standard steps to significantly improve it. First of all, it's called normalization, because when you talk to microphone, it could be a little bit silent, or you probably looked at different sides when you discussed, and that's why the level of sound changed during the time, a little bit louder, a little bit more silent, and you need to normalize it. So in all sound applications, you can find this normalization. It is just one click. You select your audio, click normalization, and it normalizes it to standard level of loudness. Next thing, it is equalizer. Equalizer helps you to reduce some frequencies of your voice, or to improve it, because different people have some defects of narration. For example, it could be some sounds like this, or on some frequencies you will hear resonance, and equalizer helps you to remove this resonance easily and improve this audio, to exclude all this and many other type of sounds. Next thing is a compressor. Compressor, again, it's kind of algorithm which improve your voice, make it sounds more professional and studio. Again, you don't need to set a lot of parameters, you just select your audio, put compressor, and modern algorithm just improve and make your voice better. And next thing, the last one, is noise reduction, because almost always, especially if it was made not in studio, you have some background noise, and you need to remove it on records. Best of all, try to exclude it from the very beginning, so to remove all this noise from the record on the basis, close window, switch off refrigerator or whatever. But if there is still some noise, like in my record right now, you probably hear a little bit noise of fan of my computer. Unfortunately, I can't switch off fan of the computer, that's why you hear it. But this noise I can remove on post-production. And there are 2 ways of removing it. Either remove all noises which is silent, have less volume than some parameter, or I can remove it on everywhere, just showing the example of noise and then algorithm remove it from a sound. You have to remember that every noise reduction will change your original audio and make it worse. It will not improve it, it will make it worse, probably not significant, but still. So let's try it. Let's make our first reduction. I will take my computer now, and in advance I've prepared some story. I took one story from Amsterdam. It's Café Inti, sorry for my wrong pronunciation of this Dutch name. It translated as In the Monkey. It is oldest pub in Amsterdam, and I took story from one existing audio guide and adopted a bit for our example. All you need to know for a while that we will talk about this oldest building in the city with very interesting story related to monkeys, and there is a text, and let's not read it in details, but in the beginning I will tell that there is a pub, then we will tell about its history related to the monkey, and I want to show that, okay, if we talk about pub, let's think how we can improve by sound, how we can attract. Probably we need to add some specific pub noise, people talking, beer drinking, and so on. We will add this sound effect. Then we will, as I proposed you last time, we will try to engage listener to visit it. So we will add some sound effect to attract listener to enter this pub, and then when we will talk about monkey, we will add some sound of monkey taken from zoos. I am explaining what I will do next several minutes. That's how I record the story. As I told you, there is nothing better than some pillows, some covers, and so on. That's what I did. Just take my computer for the text, voice record, put, I forget how to say it in English, this cover on my head, and made a record. And we will do our example in free application Audacity. It's very powerful open source application. It exists for Windows and for Mac. So I will jump to it right now. This is my record. So what you can see now, and in every sound application you will see this diagram of the voice. And as I said, when you record, sometimes it's a little bit silent, and level of loudness, level of volume is the height of these peaks. You see that it is not big one, so I select it, and as I said, we go to effects, and first of all, normalize. Where is it? Yeah, normalize. I choose to which level I want to normalize it. -1 decibel. Okay, you see it becomes higher. Okay, enough for a while. Next thing, as I told you, we have to do equalizer. We will take, there are many of them, but I prefer this AU band equalizer because it shows you all these frequencies in dynamic. And now what I will do, I will start playing the audio, and then I will change amplifier for every specific frequency, and I hope you will hear the difference. Let's try.
Do you see an old blackened wooden building that stands out against?
You see some noise here I can hear, so I remove -4 decibel approximately.
Amsterdam. Let's go inside. Almost 5 centuries ago, Café Inti,
and here I also hear some resonance. Of course, when you're in headphones, you hear it much better, but I just want to show how it works. So you just take a point, drop it to the maximum, move on the frequency band, and when you hear some resonance, reduce it for -4 decibels. Okay, let's do it. I'm a little bit improved my audio. Apply. Yes, my record improved. What I have to do next, I want to use compressor. Compressor will improve my voice, make it more professional and sounds better. I just take effects compressor. And you can see that it's also amplified. And the next step, and it is important, that noise deduction you do at the end, not in the beginning. I want to remove some noise, because if I select some area with the silence, let me switch it on. You hear some noise. This noise I want to remove. How I do it? I go to effect, then noise reduction. It is two steps operation. First, I get noise profile. I teach algorithm what is the noise for my audio. Then I select all soundtrack and go again to noise reduction and choose second step, remove it. And you see that in this area it was a noise. I will make undo. You see, it is a noise, some small changes, and after noise deduction it became absolutely silent. So I can hear, listen to the result.
Do you see an old blackened wooden building that stands out against the...
Yeah, okay. Then what I have to do, I can remove all these things in the beginning and in the end, which usually happen when you switch on or switch off microphone, your voice recorder. And then, as I said, let's try to add some sound effects in our audio. How can we do it? I will add, in advance downloaded some free sounds from internet. It is very easy, just go to Google and type sound of pubs, and you will get libraries of free sounds which you can use. We will talk about licenses for the sounds a little bit later. But in advance I've prepared it, I downloaded some of them, and all I need to do just add new track, add new stereo track, and then open file which I prepared in advance. It is in this sound. Now we can listen it. What is it? Yeah, some typical sound for the pub. Okay, I copy it. I go to my original track, add it here. Okay, I edit it here. But if I will start listening it like this, it is a strange mix. Usually what we do, we start with some music, and after several seconds, like 5 seconds, we start to play what we recorded by our voice. So let's play. Okay, but you can hear that music on the background is too loud. I can't hear the voice because of this music. In every application for voice editing, there are many tools to improve it. What should we do? We just select our track with noise or with music. I put it on the top, and then I choose the effect which called after dock. And what it does, it reduces the sound of background when you start to talk. And you see what will happen. Yeah, before my voice, it is loud, and then it become much less loud. So let's listen.
Do you see an old blackened wooden building?
Yeah, there are still some background music, but it allows you to listen the main soundtrack. Okay, then let's listen the story, because we need to choose one moment for another sound effect.
See an old blackened wooden building that stands out against the general background. This is a cafe in Japan, the oldest pub and urban legend of Amsterdam. Let's go inside.
Okay, just we say, let's go inside. And we need to improve it. For example, we want to improve it to engage the person how to do it. Let's add sound of opening and close door. Okay, we also have it. Okay, we can listen it. Okay, open and close. Let's take this sound, go to our...
Let's go inside.
And for example, I want to add it after the phrase let's go inside. How I can do it? I can take...
Let's go inside.
I will cut it like this. Just cut my main sound track. Take this hole for insert it here. Yeah, and then I want to increase time between opening and closing a door. Again, I take it, I move it. Okay, and again, let's make what we already did, this after dark. Let's listen what's happening. What?
Do you see an old blackened wooden building that stands out against the general background? This is a cafe in Japan, the oldest pub and urban legend of Amsterdam. Let's go inside. Almost 5 seconds.
And you see that when I open a door, music again become louder, because we open a door to the pub, music became louder, then we close the door and we reduce it, not because it is became more silent, but because I start to talk again. Then I don't want you to listen the whole story, despite it just 1 minute, but somewhere I made a mistake.
Who got short of cash? Those were days. Those were the days.
So I made the mistakes, and I want to change emotion, like
those were days.
First attempt, I didn't like it.
Those were the days.
And I repeat it. Okay, now I just select and remove those pronunciation which I didn't like.
Who got short of cash? Those were the days. Today the old tavern offers a wide range of beers and block.
Okay, then also as I told you, there was something about monkey.
Soon the place was full of apes and the customers began to complain about the fleas.
Okay, we want to add somewhere here monkey sound to make it more engagement.
And the customers...
That's why again I make cutting and open some prepared in advance sound of monkey. Okay, several seconds of monkey screaming. Let's put it here. And move it back.
Soon the place was full of apes. And the customers began to complain about the fleas. A regular visitor kept an animal.
And that's it. Again, it was just an example. We took several sounds, added to the audio. Now we want to compile final sound. What we do, we just select all and export selected audio as an MP3 file. And save it. And we can listen it now from the scratch. Okay, let's spend another minute to listen the whole story.
Do you see an old blackened wooden building that stands out against the general background? This is a cafe in Japan,
the oldest pub and urban legend of Amsterdam. Let's go inside. Almost 5 centuries ago, Café Antwerpen opened its doors and provided beer, Dutch January, food and lodgings. In early days, the owner of this pub used to accept monkeys as payment from sailors who were short of cash. Those were the days. Today the old tavern offers a wide range of beers and lot of monkey memorabilia, like stuffed monkeys and statues everywhere you look. But let me guess, you are probably more interested in the monkey business and the name of this pub, right? Well, in the old days, sailors returning from their exotic travels in Far East entered their ships close to this place. In their favorite pub, the men apparently used to trade their pet monkeys for more drinks or a bed for the night if they had run out of money. Soon the place was full of apes, and the customers began to complain about the fleas. A regular visitor kept animals in his garden, which would eventually become Artis Zoo, one of the oldest zoos in Europe. Okay, that's what we just created for these 10 minutes. So you see, it is not so difficult. We edited audio, reduce noise, compress it, make it better, make voice better, and then add some sound effect. Okay, let's return to the lecture. There are several slides left. The main steps which you can do with editing, it is cut errors, which I just shown. Then it is add music and effects, which we also did. Then you need cut into files. It's important thing when you voice over long story with many stories. I mean, for the whole tour, you have 30 steps. It is better if you will create one original file with all the 30 story, and then when you finalize all this post-production and editing, you will cut the final file to many pieces. Why to do it? Just because all the steps with normalization, compressor, noise reduction and many other things, you will do just once for one big original file. If you make 30 single records, you will need to repeat it each time. And at the end, the level of sound for every track could be different. So you always have to record one file with all stories and then cut them to the files. Useful tips at the end and some ideas. At least to try it. Even after this lecture, you say, no, I don't want to dive into it. It is better go to the studio and get result. It is better if you will try. Most probably you will like it because you will feel this power of flexibility when you can record any interesting guest, any interesting person, and then easily edit it and publish for others. As I already said, record everything in one file and then cut it to files. Always keep originals. In some moment you can decide, I now want to change some effects, or I know how to remove some noise now better. You always can take original files and do it from the scratch. And if you use some external music or sounds, always check licenses. It's a very big problem if you violate copyrights. As I said, there are many open libraries for sounds, and if you type something in Google, you will definitely find something. But each time, go to information and read type of license. Probably you need to mention website in the description. Probably it's just imitate free access, but in fact it is not. Check licenses, it is very important, like with photo images, with music the same. And when you use this music and sound effects, just do it consecutively. Do not use a lot. Do not put music for the whole background. Don't make many effects, because main information is in your voice. What are you telling? Other things is just small tools to engage or to pay attention, to highlight some elements of your voice, but not to replace it. And that's it. Thank you for this lesson. I hope it was useful for you and you learned something new. And if you have any question, please ask or write me and I will answer. Thank you.